we were lucky enough to have Joey Murray on the cast a few weeks ago, buddy of yours, fellow Jays prospect, right? Another guy who was at that alternate site. And he mentioned that despite there not being the in-game competition and growth that comes with a regular minor league season, that he still kind of felt like he developed as much or even more during his time at the alternate site than he did even ever before, because he'd never been in an environment where the knowledge and information sharing was quite so prevalent. And he even mentioned you by name as a guy that, like, he could kind of pick your brain on what you were seeing in the hitters, in the batter's box, as just the pitches that were coming at you. How did you feel about your growth as a player during your time at the alternate site? And did you kind of have a similar experience with that group of guys?
Yeah, it was awesome. Like I said earlier, with everything that was going on, it was hard to bring that game-like adrenaline, and I think with that group of guys, it was really good because we were able to kind of force that with each other. We were able to go in there every day, and we had such a good environment, such a positive environment with those guys, especially the older guys in the clubhouse, Ruben Tejada, people like that, TJ Zoik, been to the big leagues, people like that, so we got to create that game-like environment and that competition within each other. But at the same time, I think, like Joey said, with the growth and development and all that, I think it was good because during the season, I feel like you can kind of get lost in your numbers. You get too caught up on what you want to post, like your numbers, what you want to post for MLB, stuff like that, how many homers you want to hit. And I think this year it was solely focused on just getting better, picking each other's brains, working with each other. And it was a season. It was a developmental season, I think, for me, and I think that's what everybody kind of got out of it was we can get better, but we could also treat it like a season, and I think that's why once we all kind of got that attitude and that environment together, I think that's when everybody really started to take off and like figure out who they are as a player, grow as a player, especially me being probably one of the younger guys there, me and Simeon. It was good just to see how those guys, because those guys have all failed before, they've had really great careers, but at the same time, they've had times in their careers where they haven't done well, and for young guys like me and Simeon, I think that was really good because we learned how to handle failure, because when I went to Toronto, if I'm being honest with you, I didn't do anything. Like I tried to do too much. I tried to impress. I tried to be the kid straight off an injury that's going to come out here and light up the big leagues.
Right.
And it's not my ability. It's just, I wasn't in that mental spot yet to be ready for that, So,
well, it's a lot of pressure to put on yourself too, right? Like,
yeah. I just think that's how I am. I hold a lot of high expectations on myself. Yeah. But yeah, with Rochester and everything, it was one of those things where we learned how to fail, but how to move on from it too, take failure and not prolong it, but it was good, man. Joey Murray's, y'all are going to love him. Let me tell you. Y'all are going to love him.
Yeah, I love hearing that. Actually, that was actually going to be one of my next questions here. At the alternate site, were there, when you were taking live BP, were there some pitchers you faced that you're like, oh yeah, this guy is nasty and he is on his way to the bigs? I mean, you mentioned Murray. Did you have a few others that were just like, wow, once this kid puts it all together, it's going to be deadly?
Oh yeah. Simeon, obviously younger kid, can really throw. Patrick Murphy, obviously he ended up in the league. But yeah, I mean, they were obviously all good, they're all higher level guys. But Joey Murray's just different, he's that guy that when you have to face him, you're like, ooh, great, here we go, So, but yeah, they were all good, but Murray was, for me, I think Murray was just different. He was, I think he's been that way the whole time. He's just got something special about him. He can really pitch. So I think he's going to do a lot of good things at the big league level. Hi, this is Jordan Groshans with the Toronto Blue Jays, and I am in the Walk-Off podcast with Scott Belford and Adam Mack. Thank you for listening.
Nailed it, buddy. Thank you so much, bud. Yeah, man.
Appreciate you guys having me. I enjoy
buddy. Enjoy your golf game, dude.